How do you help and support your wife when the ghosts of her past are just waiting to be brought back into the present? Hello and welcome back, everybody. I thank you so much for being here. Today we will be covering r/True Off My Chest, covering the story of a man desperately trying to keep his marriage from falling apart because of those ghosts from the past that have come back to haunt his wife today. So I hope you'll come and join me in this little story and see how this is all playing out. So this is coming from r/TA Heartbroken 638. I forced my wife to go to a party and now my marriage is ruined. Me and my wife, Kay, have been married for 4 years now, but so far we have had a good marriage and a strong bond. I love her and will do anything for her in the blink of an eye. Before we got married, we decided that we will have our own individual space and we don't have to tell each other everything unless we feel the other person should definitely know. The arrangement went well for years. I didn't have much to hide or to tell, but she did. When I met Kay for the first time, she was a very conservative person and a bit too devoted to religion. She told me that she wasn't a good person in the past, but since then she has tried to be a good person living a moral life. She told me some details about her past and how she was a wild girl in college and had several relationships and partners. Even after we got married, she would tell me some details about her past, but I never pressed to get details. She always refers to her college self in the third person, and whenever she talks about her past, she always says that her college self is a horrible person. Since then, she has been more devoted to religion and is quite different from her previous self. I have seen pictures and videos and Kay is nothing like that person today. Kay doesn't have a lot of friends and mostly spends her time praying or with other religious stuff. I am the only person she shares her thoughts with. A few months ago, out of the blue, she got a call from her best friend from college, R. I saw Kay light up and after talking to R, Kay felt so happy after reconnecting with R, and R invited her to a party at her place. R also called up their other friends from college. Kay was conflicted about going to the party. I convinced her to go, saying the worst that could happen is that she has a boring night. Kay asked me to come along with her. Even during the drive, I was thinking about getting some embarrassing and funny stories about my wife from her friends. When we reached R's place, I realized why Kay was conflicted. Kay was dressed very conservatively. Light makeup and very little jewelry. Her friends from college were the exact opposite. They were dressed like tweens going out to a party all night. The night started normally, about the girls sharing funny tales, but the stories quickly became raunchy and then horrifying. I found out Kay and R were the leaders of a group of mean girls. They slept around, abused alcohol and drugs, and on occasion ruined people's lives. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Kay stepped away to go to the bathroom when the group turned to me and told me the stories about my wife. R talked about Kay sleeping with most of the professors at their college, which I didn't know about, but wasn't aware the number was that high. R purposely told me about how Kay and R systematically gaslight a woman into believing that she is a lesbian and ruined her marriage because her husband had rejected Kay's advances. And all the girls found this incident to be funny. I wanted to leave, but I couldn't find Kay. I went to the bathroom to look for her and found her curled up in a corner crying. I picked her up and left immediately. The entire drive back, Kay was sobbing and kept repeating,
I am sorry.
She was inconsolable for days and then she threw herself into religion hard. She started praying for 6 to 8 hours every day. Her daily prayers and rituals usually took 2 hours. I thought that giving her space would help her heal and she would talk to me whenever she is ready. We haven't talked much since then. She still cuddles up in the bed but doesn't say anything. Last week, she told me that she has decided to be a celibate for the rest of her life, to repent for her former sins. She asked for my support and apologized for springing it on me. She has told me to leave her if I can't live a celibate life with her. I have tried talking to her about trying therapy, but she's adamant on her plan. I ruined my near-perfect life by forcing her to go to that party. Man, OP, sorry you're going through such a rough time, but honestly, if it's this bad, I think this was just a ticking time bomb, and sooner or later this probably would have happened anyway. Well, let's see what the community has to say about this one. Starting with Apple Pug. Sounds like she might be having a nervous breakdown and using her religion to cope. Does your congregation, assuming she attends church/temple/religious meetings, have a trusted figure she could talk to? Maybe one who has a similar background. Partied hard but turned away from that life? If Kay still won't talk to you, it may be worth seeing if she'll attend a meeting with them. I wish you both the best. OP responds, I am trying to get her help, but it's not easy without telling them about my wife's past. I don't want to tell them as I don't know how they will respond knowing about it. I feel they might not help at all and might even leave Kay more isolated than she is right now. No doubt, OP, this is a really touchy subject and you must use extreme caution when handling it. No Kaleidoscope 4356 chimes in. She needs therapy. I have heard of people with addiction issues swapping them with healthy behaviors, like 6 hours of meditating or praying. I'm not sure if this is what is happening, but she seems to be in the midst of a nervous breakdown. Maybe reaching out to the people she hurt and sincerely apologizing would help her more than solitary praying and make a real amends. And now from Sneakies 2. It's effectively being a dry drunk. They replace one addiction for another. Even if the new addiction is ostensibly good for you, it's still an addiction. They just quit drinking. They haven't done the work to address why they drank to begin with and what they were using alcohol to cope with or mask. Just quitting toxic behaviors is relatively straightforward. Actually being in recovery requires painful work. I gotta say, I agree with Sneakies 2 here. It's clear the OP's wife is trying to repent for her sins and treating this old self of hers as somebody that's dead and buried, but clearly she is still haunted by that past self and she really needs therapy to help work past all this stuff. Ashald says, absolutely. You have to surrender to the program, not just comply. Addiction is almost always a dual diagnosis. There's almost always another diagnosis that goes hand in hand with the addiction. From a recovering fentanyl addict that had tried to get clean 50 plus times. You got this. Hey, good on you, Ash lad. 50 plus times, wow. Good on you for not giving up on yourself. And the OP has an update for us. Update. I ruined my marriage by forcing my wife to go to a party. Last night, when we got into bed, I told her, I love you, and I will wait for you to be ready for me. At the time, I wasn't even sure what I meant. I just had to talk to her. Her eyes swelled up with tears. I can tell she wanted to wail and scream but was holding back. She grabbed me and didn't want to let go. She whispered, I love you. We held each other for the rest of the night. In the morning, I asked if she would just talk to a therapist. I assured her I would try to support her decisions either way. She agreed and kissed me. We hadn't kissed in almost 2 months. I thought my wife was back. But a few minutes later, she texted me from the kitchen.
My celibacy doesn't have to mean yours. You're free to leave me. If you want to stay, I will not interfere with your physical needs.
It killed me reading this text. We haven't said a word to each other since then. Well, OP, I seriously hope that she takes going to therapy into consideration. Hopefully, therapy will help address this past person, help her work through it, and leave this past person in the past, because it is not who she is today. And you know that. And here we got a few more comments. From Infusion Delusion. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. She's agreed to see a therapist. So hold her to that and keep your word that you'll wait. I know it hurts, but keep talking to her and stay friends. She's kissed you, which is the best thing in 2 months. You got this. From Awanimeto-ish. Apologies for butchering. I see it the same way. She is clearly receptive to OP's feelings and she feels the guilt for denying him intimacy. But she also clearly still has no healthy way to deal with these feelings of guilt. So don't give up just yet, OP. It's a very good sign that she agreed to a therapist. But also keep in mind that everything now is definitely a journey and probably not a short one. 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still progress. From Styly. Agree. OP, give her a little time. She's got a lot going on and it seems to me she may see she is painting herself into a corner. And we get a response from the OP and it doesn't sound good. I think it's 1 forward, 2 back. My marriage is over. I just need to accept it. I still love her and I will wait for that love. But she has already let me go. Damn, that is not good. Oh, and the OP provided us with another update. Update 2. I ruined my marriage by forcing my wife to go to a party. Kay started therapy thanks to the efforts of some members of her religious group. She will need a lot of time and I don't know if I will ever get my wife back. Everyone keeps telling me that she will get better soon, but I'm not sure if she would still be my wife when she does. Even if she does come back, I have heard things about her past that make it very hard for us just to continue our relationship. Some details make me feel that Kay doesn't deserve happiness. For now, I will support her to help with her recovery, but I am not sure what happens after. I appreciate the update, OP. Again, so sorry about this. Whatever decision you make, you can't blame all of this on you. As I said in the beginning, this sounds like this was a ticking time bomb that was gonna go off at any time anyway. So whatever decision you choose to make, I hope you find happiness and peace going forward, man. And it's time for me to go forward as well. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I really, really do appreciate it. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button if you'd like to see/hear more from yours truly. Until then, my earthly friends, CB signing off. 07.